Hey, what's up? This is Laidback Luke, DJ and producer, Kung Fu athlete, and dedicated dad. I gotta briefly give a shout out to the comments of last week. Jerker Miz, who had the top comment of last week, and he said, I know as a big DJ you get a lot of haters as well, but what about all those people that appreciate what you do? And you're right, Mr. Jerker, those people keep on giving me the fuel and the passion to keep on doing what I do, and I really appreciate it. Gonzalo Lemos had the second comment of last week, and he was wondering what happened to my light show at EDC. And so yeah, one of the comments below that answered it already. I was actually playing before the opening ceremony at 10 p.m., which means they didn't have any lights for me. Luckily, I don't need a light show in my set, so everything worked out anyway. As you can see, I appreciate all your comments. Keep them coming. If you watch this vlog and you have something to say, please leave them below and I'll have a look. So in this episode, I'd like to dive into hate. I'd like to dive into trolling. And if you're a young DJ or even a settled down artist, we're gonna figure out how to deal with this. But before we go in, don't forget to subscribe and like. And so right now, I'll take you with me on this long journey I took out to China. Just got to my hotel room, so happy to be here. It was a 20-hour travel. I flew in economy to save costs. It was long, but I'm here and I'm happy to be here. But today we're gonna talk about hate, not things that I hate, but how to deal with hate and to show you that there's a lot of different sort of hates. I remember making my way up into the underground, showing people my talents and impressing them with my DJ skills and with my new tracks. And mind you, this was at the end of the 90s, begin 2000s, where I climbed up the ladder. There was such a hype around me, and in the beginning of 2003, I really got recognized for it. A lot of people praised me, and it was amazing. It was an incredible time. Then I found out what it was like to be hated. The thing is, in the summer of 2003, I had a big crossover hit and went into the mainstream charts in the Netherlands. And so then all of a sudden, all these people that praised me before, they started saying I sold out. They didn't like my stuff. All of a sudden people wouldn't talk to me either. And I totally didn't get it because I was still the same guy, yet they were hating on me for my success. But that was such a shock to find out that people can really just hate you, not because you slapped their brother, not because you talked dirt about their mother. It can be very shocking. Although it's very light out in China, in the US it reaches the nighttime, and so I'm just gonna get 5.5 hours of my nighttime sleep over here. Had a very decent 5.5 hours of night sleep, and right now it's in the morning in America, but at night in China, and I just realized I totally forgot to hand in my radio show. So I'm gonna be scrambling to record my radio voiceover right now. I can't believe I almost missed the deadline for my show. Can you imagine if there was not gonna be a Mix Mash radio show this week? I flew my Sifu over to China as well. He loves it over here, and apparently he had a 5-hour delay today in Beijing. He just made it out here to the hotel, and I'm just gonna train with him. And after the training, I'll come back to you to speak about the different forms of hate and what the Dutch crowd specifically did for the Dutch DJs. Is it selfie stick patrol right here?
Here we are with our sticks.
Super thankful my Sifu came to China. Of course, just gonna shower up and get back into the room, and I'll brief you more about the thing called hate. Had a good shower just now. And see, the thing is, I think there are 3 sorts of haters. Number 1, you have the people that have never accomplished anything in their lives. The so-called keyboard warriors that are really just jealous and out there to just try and ruin your spirit. Number 2, there are the trolls. The biggest troll of them is deadmau5. I see you. People that just make a ruckus on the internet for making a ruckus, and that's pretty much it. And number 3, the people that actually really mean well, that try to give constructive feedback. But this ties nicely into the Dutch mentality of the Dutch crowd. Typically, the Dutch mentality is just to shoot from the hip. So no matter if you're family, if you're friends, if they are your biggest fans, if you play one set that's a little bit less than they're used to from you, you'll instantly hear it. And it's kind of like a combination between hate and real constructive criticism. But this is typically the secret of why all Dutch DJing is of such a high level. Obviously, I got ready for my show now, fresh shave, about to rock it here in China. So now you know all about the various types of hate, and tomorrow I'll tell you how to deal with that. Look at this. This is crazy. Wow. Amazing show. This is really going on in China right now. Good to be back. I'm excited to do more. Tomorrow we're gonna go to, where are we going?
Chongqing.
Chongqing. Okay. Tomorrow to Chongqing. We're out. Good morning. It's the next day, and last night I forgot to mention that the Chinese sure love their confetti, especially when throwing it out on my decks, which was a little bit tricky with the music playing, but so much fun. On a serious note, this just in. And although the weather looks just fine right here, apparently in the next location it has been a chaos for a couple of days. So sorry to hear about the landslides and everything. Apparently all the flights are either delayed or cancelled right now, and we cannot seem to make the show. So yeah, I guess I'm staying in Shenzhen. Just heard the news, the show is cancelled. I recorded a video message to tell them I'm really sorry. It was just impossible to make it today, so a bit of a weird one. I'm gonna unpack my stuff again, catch my night's sleep. And so it's the next American morning, which means a Chinese night. Although I'm sad the gig didn't go through, I'm happy I could catch like a full night of sleep. First thing I'll do is go into another Kung Fu session. I'm wearing this, my show shirt, because my other shirt is still wet from last night. And my Sifu has some amazing things to say about hate, due to his experience, long-time experience in the Kung Fu world.
You know, you can think of it like a wolf looking down on a herd of sheep. Most of the haters in the world, they're pretty much like the sheep. Anything they say really is never going to really affect the wolf. And it's very easy from an unqualified position to sit behind a keyboard and write something that you think is interesting to the world, but actually it's not important.
Just had a shower and a good meal, and actually that's a really good point my Sifu made right there. Why would I care? A couple of DJs asked me this the same on Twitter as well, when I ranted about these two kids that said I couldn't mix. The thing is, I've been mixing professionally for about 20 years now, so probably longer than they are alive. Why would I let it bother me? Simply because I care. I care about what I do, I care about my craft, I care about what people think. And there's just this fine line where you let it bother you that much you want to give up, or you just take it into account, like in the back of your brain, and you just move on. I'm gonna be behind my laptop for the rest of the night because I am trying to finish a vlog for my daughter. As the sun rises, I will be traveling back to New York, 15 hours in coach, but at the end of it, I will be hanging with my daughter and spending some quality time. In the morning, as the sun rises, and I'll be on my way to the airport, I'll come with an amazing conclusion of this vlog. So it's gonna be 2 hours out to the airport right now, and to finish this vlog off, my Sifu, right after training, came up with like the pivotal idea that opened my mind to it.
If you're achieving things constantly, then you are basically a mirror for other people's lack of achievement. what they do is they reflect their own lack of achievement by hating the fact that you're constantly achieving things.
This, combined with sheer ignorance, makes the perfect hater. And so what I want you to know that, I'm not here to flaunt with my success. Actually, I hope that my success will be an inspiration for you to try and reach what I've reached. And I always say, if I can do it, then you can do it as well. If you get more successful and you run into haters, just be mindful of this. Best way to battle them is to kill them with kindness. Just let them know, if they're missing information, give them that information. They will easily shut up. And I've done that multiple times where I actually thank people for their input and their feedback, and we could all move along. Well, what also helps is the block button. The thing is, you don't need to start discussions with haters, and even if you start cursing, that will only make them feel better. Last thing I want to say about this before I leave is that go and always do you. So like I said, keep the comments in the back of your brain, but always make sure you set your own course and you keep on at it. Can you imagine if I would have stopped by one comment of one hater at any given moment? And the great thing about achieving success is that for every one hater, there's 100 lovers. And I want to thank you for that. Give yourselves a thumb up. I appreciate you. Give me a thumb up as well if you enjoyed my vlog. Next week, something exciting and unique again. I have never spoken to you about how I came up with those double L's. You will see the true story and the real life here next week. Until then, L's up, rave safely, and salute.